Welcome to the American English Listening and Comprehension Podcast, the show designed to help you listen better, understand more, and speak with confidence. Every episode, we bring you carefully crafted articles, real-life dialogues, and interactive quizzes, all created to sharpen your American English listening and comprehension skills, one episode at a time. Whether you're a beginner building your foundation or an intermediate learner reaching for fluency, this podcast is your daily practice partner. So get comfortable, press play, and let's learn together. Let's get started. Unit 2 theme: Courage and Breaking Barriers. The sky is not the limit. Amelia Earhart. Section 1. Vocabulary. Aviation. The activity of flying airplanes or the business of making and operating airplanes. Amelia Earhart fell in love with aviation the first time she rode in an airplane. Pioneering. Introducing new and better methods. Being one of the first people to do something important. Earhart's pioneering flights showed the world that women could achieve anything men could. Solo. Done by one person alone, without help from others. In 1932, Earhart completed a solo flight across the Atlantic Ocean. Determination. A strong decision to do something and not to stop until it is achieved. Her determination to fly despite criticism from others inspired millions of young women. Circumnavigate. To travel all the way around something, especially the Earth. Earhart attempted to circumnavigate the globe but disappeared during the journey. Section 2. Biographical article. Amelia Earhart, Wings of Courage. Amelia Earhart was born on July 24, 1897, in Atchison, Kansas. From an early age, she was adventurous and independent. As a child, she built a homemade roller coaster and loved activities that were considered unusual for girls at the time. These early experiences shaped her into a person who never accepted the word impossible. Earhart saw her first airplane at a state fair in 1908, but it did not impress her much. It was not until 1920, when she took her first airplane ride in California, that her passion for flying was born. 10 minutes into the flight, she knew she had to learn to fly. She took on multiple jobs, including working as a truck driver, photographer, and stenographer, to pay for flying lessons. In 1928, Earhart became the first woman to cross the Atlantic Ocean in an airplane, though she flew as a passenger, not the pilot. Reporters called her Lady Lindy, comparing her to the famous Charles Lindbergh. But Earhart was not satisfied. She wanted to cross the ocean herself as the pilot. In 1932, she did exactly that, becoming the first woman, and only the second person ever, to fly solo across the Atlantic. She completed the flight in about 15 hours. Earhart used her fame to push for greater opportunities for women in aviation and in society. She helped found an organization for female pilots called the 99s, which still exists today. She also taught aeronautics at Purdue University and served as a role model for women across the country. In 1937, Earhart attempted her most ambitious goal, to fly around the world along the equator. She and her navigator, Fred Noonan, completed most of the journey, but their plane disappeared over the Pacific Ocean on July 2, 1937. She was never found. The mystery of her disappearance has never been solved, but her courage and accomplishments continue to inspire generations of dreamers and explorers. Section 3. Article Analysis. 1. Main idea. The article tells the story of Amelia Earhart, a woman who broke social barriers and aviation records through courage, determination, and a belief that women were capable of anything. 2. Key theme: defying expectations. Throughout the article, Earhart repeatedly refuses to accept limitations placed on her by society. She builds a roller coaster as a child, works multiple jobs to pay for lessons, and insists on flying solo rather than just riding as a passenger. Her life is a story of refusing to be defined by others. 3. Cause and effect. Earhart's 1920 airplane ride caused her to pursue flying with total commitment. This led to her historic solo Atlantic crossing, which led to her fame, her advocacy for women, and finally her attempt to circle the globe. 4. Historical context. In the 1920s and 1930s, women faced strong social pressure to stay in traditional roles. Earhart's achievements were especially remarkable because they came at a time when few people believed women could, or should, fly airplanes. 5. Lasting legacy. The 99's organization Earhart co-founded is still active today, supporting women in aviation. Her name and story remain symbols of bravery and the importance of pursuing one's dreams regardless of social barriers. Discussion question. Based on this article, what is one quality this person had that you would like to develop in yourself? Explain your answer to a classmate. Section 4. Dialogue. Read the following conversation between Sophia and James about the article. Practice reading the dialogue aloud with a partner, taking turns with each role. Sophia. James, I read that Amelia Earhart flew across the Atlantic Ocean by herself in 1932. That seems terrifying. James. It does. And she did it in about 15 hours. Can you imagine sitting alone in a small plane over the ocean for that long? Sophia. What surprised me was that she worked many different jobs just to pay for flying lessons. She really had determination. James. Yes, she never let money or social expectations stop her. At that time, many people thought flying was not suitable for women. Sophia. But she proved them all wrong. She became more famous than many male pilots of that era. James. And she didn't just fly for herself. She founded an organization to help other women get into aviation. Sophia. The 99's, right? And it still exists today. That is a real legacy. James. I find the mystery of her disappearance very sad. She was so close to completing her trip around the world. Sophia. True, but I think her story teaches us that the journey and the courage to try are just as important as the destination. James. That is a beautiful way to think about it. She will always be a symbol of pioneering spirit. Speaking practice. After practicing the dialogue, discuss this question with your partner. What is one thing from this person's life that surprised you, and why? Section 5. Comprehension Quiz. 1. Where was Amelia Earhart born? A. New York City, New York. B. Atchison, Kansas. C. Los Angeles, California. D. Chicago, Illinois. 2. What happened in 1932 that made Earhart historically famous? A. She became the first woman to ride in an airplane. B. She completed a solo flight across the Atlantic Ocean. C. She flew around the world. D. She founded the 99s organization. 3. Why did Earhart work many different jobs as a young woman? A. She wanted to become a photographer. B. She needed to support her family. C. She needed money to pay for flying lessons. D. She was looking for adventure. 4. What was the 99s? A. A record label for women musicians. B. An organization for female pilots. C. A women's political group. D. The name of Earhart's airplane. 5. What happened to Earhart in 1937? A. She retired from flying. B. She successfully flew around the world. C. Her plane disappeared over the Pacific Ocean. D. She became the first woman in space. Answer key. 1. Answer. B. Earhart was born on July 24, 1897, in Atchison, Kansas. 2. Answer. B. In 1932, Earhart became the first woman, and only the second person, to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. 3. Answer. C. She worked as a truck driver, photographer, and stenographer to earn enough money to pay for flying lessons. 4. Answer. B. Earhart helped found the 99s, an organization for female pilots that still exists today. 5. Answer. C. While attempting to fly around the world, her plane disappeared over the Pacific Ocean on July 2, 1937. That's all for today's episode of the American English Listening and Comprehension Podcast. Thank you so much for listening and for making English practice a part of your day. Remember, every minute you spend listening and comprehending brings you one step closer to your fluency goals. Keep practicing, keep listening, and don't give up. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, rate, and share this podcast with fellow English learners. Your support helps us reach more people on their language learning journey. New episodes are available regularly, so tune in again soon. Until next time, keep listening, keep learning, and keep growing. See you next episode.